So we're looking at our first collection object, which is a list, and we went through in the previous section and we said that we can create a list. For example, we can create a list of numbers, and the creation of the list was to put it inside of square brackets, and we could just put whatever we wanted to into our list. So we could have, for example, a list of integers here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We could keep extending it, and also or any numbers that we wanted, so 60 60, 70, we didn't even have to have 6, 7, so they don't have to be contiguous. And then we can have a list of strings, so we could have Alice, Bob, Charlie, and we could even extend that and have more names in there. And we could finally have a list of mixed data types, which was this one here. And just to show what this actually looks like inside the Python interpreter, there's two ways of doing it. So I'll just bring this little spreadsheet thing over here and just make sure, yeah, we're typing there. And I'll increase the font size to say size 24, 26, just so that we can see it. But what does this actually look like? So the list contains an index component, which is effectively the part of it that does the lookup. And then also it contains a values component. So these will be the values of the list. So in this particular case, we've got the index just starts from 0. So all list starts from index 0. And just let me move this all to the left-hand side, line left. So all lists start from index 0. So the next index is this one plus the value of 1. So just one more. So index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. And the values, if we were to take our list of strings, so we could look at the list of strings, which is this particular list here, the create list of strings, and we had Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So we didn't need any of these indices in the list of strings that contained our names, and the reason why we didn't is because there was only 3 names in Alex, Bob, and there was only 3 items in this particular list. And we can see that the index therefore goes up to the number of items minus 1 because it starts counting at 0. So we've got 0, 1, and 2. And when we wanted to reference Charlie, for example, we wanted to reference index number 2. So we wanted where index equals 2. That's what we wanted if we wanted to get back Charlie, and that would have given us back Charlie, which is what we did in our previous video. And that will summarize it, I believe. But actually, one more part to look at will be if we were to just take that same list. So I'm now going over to Python in itself, and when we run the code, everything goes into the interpreter, and we can see down at the bottom in our Jupyter variables part, we can see the list of names. We could show this with the list of numbers. We again see that it's of type list down at the bottom. We see that it's of size 3. That means that there's 3 elements in the list, which means it goes from index 0, 1, and then 2. And we can see the items of the list. But more so is if we expand the list, so we can actually look into the variables inside our Jupyter notebook. So it lets us do that. We can see exactly the same thing that was constructed in our view that was created here. So we effectively index number 0 is Alice, index number 1 is Bob, and index number 2 is Charlie. But this isn't just true for this particular list of names, it's also true for this mixed list, and it's true for this list of numbers. So if we look at our list of numbers, we can see that these are the indices here and these are the values. So these are our actual numbers that we wanted to get back that we've stored in a list, and these are the positions in the list. And finally, we've got the mixed list, and we can see that the indices again are 0, 1, 2, and 3. And our first item in the list is of value 1. Our second item in the list is a string, it's Alice, and our third item in the list is 2.5, which is a floating point number. And finally, our third item in the list is a true, which is a Boolean, and that's exactly what we see over here in our list of mixed data types. So that's kind of like the intricate inside workings of how a list works in Python.